Well, of course, we're here to talk about the $3 trillion relief package that your colleagues over in the House are expected to pass tomorrow. But first, I do want to ask you about Senator Richard Burr. NBC has confirmed that the FBI has seized his cell phone as part of an investigation into possible insider trading. Do you think that he should step down either from his position as chairman of the Intel Committee or from his seat altogether?
Look, I haven't seen the reports. I just read the headlines, so it's premature for me to comment on that. I don't own any stocks. I've told my colleagues in the Senate that at the very least it creates the appearance of a conflict, so it's better not to own any. But I cannot comment on Burr until I know the details.
You said it creates the appearance of a conflict. Do you think that senators should be banned from owning stocks altogether?
As I said, it creates an appearance of a conflict, and I would recommend to my colleagues, it's a lot easier when they don't own stocks. I don't own any.
Well, on to the $3 trillion relief package that you guys are looking at. Obviously, Republicans in your chamber are against this. The president has said that he thinks it's dead on arrival. So what is the game plan after Friday? What are Democrats going to do when we're seeing 3 million more people file for unemployment just this week?
Well, I think there'll be massive pressure on the Republican Party in the Senate, on President Trump, and particularly on Leader McConnell to move forward. Just look at what Chairman Powell said yesterday. He said we need fiscal relief. You know, he's used just about every tool in his monetary toolbox that he can use. But if we don't have fiscal relief, he said he feared that the damage to the economy would be permanent. And, you know, in the first COVID bill and in the second COVID bill, COVID 3, COVID 3.5, McConnell and the Republicans initially resisted. But public pressure, the demand to do something because the economy is in such bad shape, forced them to come to the table. I believe that will happen again. Look, we have the greatest economic and health care crisis that we've had, certainly since World War II, certainly since the Great Depression. And there is a demand, there's a need to act. I realize that it will be spending more dollars. But as Powell said, as so many other economists, left, right, and center have said, that if we don't spend more, the consequences will be worse for the budget, for fiscal, and for the economy, as well as the health of America, than if we do. So I believe that pressure from the governors, Republican and Democrat, pressures from the hospitals, pressure from businesses. You know, if we don't have an adequate testing program, Ylan, no one's going to show up even if the businesses are open. Georgia, you know, the state where the governor was the freest to open up, I think it's 2.5 weeks since he did, and something like 6% of people are showing up at the stores and the malls. So our bill, the bill that Nancy put together, the Speaker, and the House, has another $75 billion to implement a testing program. Every country that has started a real downslope for both amount of illness and economic and going up on economic recovery has had a massive testing program. This president denies it. The biggest problem we face here in so many ways is that the president puts his head in the sand and denies truth. The truth is we need testing. He said 2 months ago, everyone who needs a test can get one. We're not close to having enough tests. And let me just give you one little example. I called the mayor of New Rochelle when they were the first city quarantined. They're a suburb in Westchester. And I said, what do you need, Mayor? He said, if I had a test for everyone, we could virtually solve this problem because anyone who tested positive would stay in their homes for 2 weeks. Anyone else could go to work, shop in the stores, walk on the streets, and feel safe about it. And yet this administration has been totally derelict in coming up with a testing program. And you talked about the airlines before. No one's going to ride on the planes until they're able to test everyone who rides on the plane and says only the people who are free of COVID will get on the plane. So there's so much to do. And for Leader McConnell to say he doesn't see any immediate urge to act, what alternative universe is he in? He reminds me a little bit, let's look at history. Herbert Hoover. The stock market crashed. Herbert Hoover said we should do nothing and let's just work our way out of this without any government intervention or help. That either created the Depression, and if it didn't create it, it certainly made it longer and deeper. McConnell, The president, in many ways, are acting like Herbert Hoover, and they ought to get off the stick and join with us and come with a strong bipartisan package that pushes more fiscal relief into this economy and more testing so we can deal with the health care crisis.